Hello, CQ, the old friends net, 1864 or 160 meter net. We meet every night here at 8 p.m. Amplitude modulation only. We take check-ins from anybody and everybody that can run AEM. This is N4LQ, Steve in Shelby, North Carolina. Give me a call if you'd like to check in.
W4JPL.
WB4NKL.
Okay, good evening, John, W4JPL and WB4NKL Cliff. Anybody else?
WF2U.
Very good, Mayor, WF2U. Anybody else? I'm sitting here watching the FT8 down on the low end of the band. Boy, there's a lot of it scattered all over the place. It must be something big DX. There's some de-expeditions going on, I think. Okay, well, I am now without a Valiant and without a Viking. Matter of fact, the Johnsons have all left. I don't think, have I got any Johnson equipment left except for a TR switch? Don't know what's going on. So right now this is the only tube type rig I've got, this AF67, that will do 160. Which it does okay, I suppose. So it'll have to do until something else comes along. I'd like to figure out a way to use this T150 that I have sitting here on 160. That'd be a fun mod. I got it going good now. It sounds good on 75 meters. Very happy with it. And I figured out a modification I can make to give it mucho more power on AM on on the 80 meters, on any band for that matter. So let's see what John's up to, then Cliff, and then Mir. W4JPL, N4LQ.
All right, good evening. W4JPL here in Liberty, North Carolina. It is 58 degrees outside. Pretty busy day. I had to get my wife's car inspected and put 4 new tires on it. I knew it was coming. I always got the original tires on it for when I bought the car new, and I think it's got at least 40,000 miles on the car now. So they were due, so I just didn't get it done. Bad enough I put doors on my car a couple weeks ago. So anyway, I put 2 more on that too. house as usual, and we went out to Lowe's and looked at carpeting and appliances and stuff like that. So that was my day. Over to you, Cliff.
Yeah, W4 JPL. It's WB4NKF. Okay, John, sounding good. I got out and walked some, and it got pretty warm here. It got about 60, but the wind has blown like crazy all day. When I was out walking, I was walking into about a 30-mile-an-hour headwind on part of it, but push you backwards. But I think it's died down there some now. Good deal on the Johnsons, out of the Johnson business, Steve. I wonder who you sold the Valiant to. And let's see, I've been working on some national NC-183Ds. I had one here that I'd got from my buddy Carl. It had a transformer missing, and but I had a junker that I robbed the transformer out of, so put that all together. And I'd forgotten how good those NC-183Ds sound. I've been listening over there, listening to Billy on the 75 meter net. Audio was really good. So it's push-pull 6V6s, and I got it going into a 12-inch hi-fi type speaker. So I guess I need to hook that up over here on 160. Not too much else going. John, refresh my memory on the town you're moving to. You told me, and it's slipped my mind, so might pass that along the next go around. Go ahead, Mayor. WF2U, it's WB4NKL.
Roger, Cliff. WB4NKL on the little group here. This is WF2U. Good evening, everybody. Steve, you booming in. Cliff, you booming in. I had a problem with you, John. For some reason, you had like a heterodyne on you, and you sounded completely garbled from some kind of QRM, and I didn't get one word of what you said. I don't know what it was. It was very strange. So, I don't know. Anyway, I did copy. So, what's new here? Oh yeah, Steve, I sent you a photo of one of the knobs that we have two kinds of metal cleaner, and I did the tuning knob look much better this way, and I took a photo, sent it to you of the G76, and that's about it. Tomorrow I'm going to probably finish getting the front panel off of my junk one and switch it with the one, switch it to the one that works. That I just have to put the meter together again after it popped out, and that's about it. So didn't do much else. I went birding this morning. Beautiful weather, and after that, did some honeydews for the XYL, and basically that's it. So back to you, Stephen. 4LQ, WF2U.
All right, WF2U and 4LQ. All right, I think we're okay now with the QRM, but John got covered up there at first, and I know you were talking about getting ready for your move and all that stuff, so if you would kind of summarize it this time, I think we'll be okay now. Anyhow, we'll find on the knob cleaning the aluminum knobs. I was trying to remember what I used, and I just went over on the shelf and picked it up. I think I got this at Walmart. It's called Quick Glow, GLO, original for heavy use. Removes water spots, chrome cleaner, rust remover, aluminum, brass, copper, shower doors, sinks, tires, and more. Motorcycles, bikes, boats, and cars. One application does it all. Made in Louisiana. That's just a little paste type stuff. I think it's got a little applicator pad in it. So I guess I got it at Walmart. I'm not really sure. Hardware store or something. Seemed to work okay. And yeah, Cliff, it was really windy out today. We went to Golden Corral today and enjoyed a wonderful meal. Got some chicken livers and which are always good, and some fried fish and fried chicken and a few vegetables and a bowl of broccoli cheese soup. Oh, that's the first thing I eat. I love that stuff. And stopped at the grocery store and about lost my hat 3 times. It just constant wind, and it's kind of strange, really. I guess there's a front coming through or something, cold front, and it's down to 54, so it's not too cold. And fine on the NC 183. I'm going to have to get me one of those again. I guess I had one, at least one. I had one of those. I had a plain 183, and I think the difference is there's an extra conversion stage in the D model. 173, and the 173 that I had, somebody had painted kind of a bluish green, like the old appliances used to be, and they did a beautiful job on it. It looked ridiculous, but it was kind of endearing. So I put it on eBay, and some guy in Germany, I think, wanted it, so I shipped it over there. Let's see here. Figured out what I'm going to do now on this T150 to modify it. For some reason, it only puts out 10 watts carrier on AM, and it's got a screen resistor in series with the screens of the finals, and that drops it down quite a bit, which would be okay, except that it's already got a resistor in the on the cathode. The modulator goes up to the screens, and that drops it down really too far. So I can short that resistor out. It doubles the power up to 20 watts and sounds just as good as ever. So I know what I need to do. I need to move that screen resistor down to where it will only be engaged in CW mode. And I think that's really what they should have done in the first place. I can't quite understand why they did it this way. Anyhow, that's the deal. Over to you, John. W4JPL. And let's check to see if anybody else. Just drag your feet. See if anybody else is here. W4JPL N4LQ.
Well, I don't hear anybody else. Okay. N4LQ in the group W4JPL. I put the amplifier on, so hopefully Amir can hear me. Keep my transmission short because my SWR is a little high and the amp temperature climbs up real fast. I was just working on packing some more stuff. I had to take Maggie's car out and get it inspected, put 4 tires on it, and we went out to Lowe's to look at carpeting, and that was the day for me. I'm never going to get rid of my Johnson transmitters. I love my Johnson transmitters, so I guess to each its own, man. Cliff, the town I'm moving to is Ramseur, R-A-M-S-E-U-R, and I'm actually closer to it, in between that and a town called Coleridge, out in the farmland. Over to you, Cliff, W4JPL.
W4JPL, it's WB4NKL. Okay, John, I'll have to look that up on the map, see whether you're getting closer to us or further away. But I hadn't heard of that town. I guess it's a small place like Limestone. Had a good deal on the T150, Steve. I seen there was a guy, I guess it's an electric radio, he'd had one he'd reworked and done some modifications, and he'd put a power control on his, but I don't know, I don't remember. I think he, about all these guys that mess around with the screen modulation, they think that you need a negative supply added to it, and about every mod you see, they went in and put a negative voltage on the bottom of that modulator tube to where it could pull it further down, pull the voltage further down below zero, I guess, on the screen. But they sound great without all that trouble, so I don't know why they do all that. But I know the one guy that modified the T150, he drilled a hole and put a power control right there in the front. And I don't like to do that either. And I don't really see the reason or the need for all those mods because they sound pretty good without messing with them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch this 183D over here in place of the Hammerlin. Get time and move them around. Like I say, it's got the best audio of any receiver I've got, I guess. I guess the SX42 would probably have similar, but I just don't run it too often. I guess I've got 2 or 3 of push-pull audios. Got one of the Hammerlin SP200's got push-pull. They sound good when you get them going right. I guess that wind's blowing in the cold front. Their high here Saturday is 40, and they're talking about snow flurries and snow. I guess that's tomorrow night, Friday night, and then overnight, and then the high Saturday is like say 38 to 40 degrees. So get that out of the way. Maybe be closer to spring. Go ahead, Mayor. WF2U, it's WB4NKL.
Roger, WB4NKL. This is WF2U. Good copy, and John, good copy on you this time. There was no QRM. I would have copied you before, even without the amplifier, if it wasn't for that garbage that covered you. But anyway, oh yeah, Steve, I wanted to ask you, did you do an experiment with adding a little bit of L to the tank coil on 80 meters to see whether it affects the loading? That would be an interesting thing. And what else? And I never had an NC183, neither the D version, and somehow I was not into those receivers because I was always gravitating towards commercial receivers, and for good audio, I have like the RCA AR88 and the CR91, and they have great audio, and yeah, and some of the other commercial receivers also have pretty good audio, but I'm also happy with the NC300 audio for him receiver, and I never liked the audio quality in the Collins receivers yeah, for some reason, and interesting. So with that, Steve, you go pick it up, and for LQ, WF2U.
Okay, do we have anybody else that would like to check in now? This is N4LQ.
KN4R.
KN4R. Good evening, Brian. Good to hear you tonight. We have W4JPL, NKL, F2U, and now KN4R. And who is next? Go ahead and just give it back to me, and we'll start around again. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, okay, Steve, very good. N4LQ in the group, KN4R, and good evening, everybody. I got in here late. I've been cleaning up the shack, rearranging things, and looked down at my watch, and it was already 1:15, so I ran over here and cranked up the amplifier. But everybody sounds good. I hope everybody had a wonderful day. I'm not sure where the day went, but I got a lot of things done, so that's the main thing, but never enough. So we've got grandkids here starting Saturday, 2 grandkids for a week, and then we get 1 day of rest, and then we get 2 other grandkids for a week, so their parents can go off and have vacations. So, we got to run them to school and pick them up at school and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be busy. So anyway, let's see, back up to you, Steve. N4LQ in the group, KN4R.
Okay, anybody else want to check in before we start the next round? Nothing heard. Okay, this is N4LQ. Well, let's see if I can answer a few questions. First, Mirror. Yes, I did try the tank coil additional turn experiment. I have plenty of coil stock down there, just about the right size, and this piece I had has got about 8 or 10 turns extra on there. So I opened up the end of it and inserted this into the tank coil, and really once I tuned it up, of course it changed the position of the tuning capacitor. The loading capacitor acted just about like it did before. Not really much change. The power level stayed the same, so that's not the cure. But like I said, the problem is the screen dropping resistor, the screen resistor in the finals. It needs to come out. It needs to be shorted out, and I shorted out, and my power goes up to double of what it was, and 20 watts seems about right for 2 of these 6146s with screen modulation, because normally 8 or 10 watts is what I would get with the likes of the DX60, the Cheyenne, the Amico. I can usually get about that, So I figured double tubes, double power, and I short the screen resistor out, and up goes the power. And the DX60 does not have that screen resistor, so I know where to put it. I've studied the diagram. I just need to find it physically now. It's a little bit buried in the wires. You get to tracing diagrams around these switches, these rotary switches. It gets to be a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, the guy that bought the Valiant, and he knows you, Cliff. I think he knows everybody. He knows everybody that's on AM. He was an SWL for many years, and he recently got his license, and now he's going to be transmitting, but he's probably listening right now. His name's Mark Lynch from up in Virginia. So he came down with his dad and picked it up, and he's pretty happy with it. And so we'll probably eventually be hearing from him once he gets it all hooked up. He had some questions about the switching between antenna and between the receiver and transmitter and how to do that, and but he's actually done quite a bit of work on the radios, and he home built a regenerative receiver, and he told me about it. It sounds really good, and I downloaded the file he told me about and printed it out. It was in QEX, the ARRL publication, and the guy who wrote it is Charles kitchen, N1TEV. And so I'm kind of looking through this, thinking I might want to build it. It's real simple. Little single transistor things. Anyway, we'll take a look at that later on. And the 183D, yeah, I've got the speaker here, the Darth Vader SX42 or S42, I guess it is. Yeah, S42 speaker with the bass reflex and all that stuff. I just need I don't know. I think the best sounding receiver I ever had was the SX42, or is it just the S42? Boy, I'm getting confused now. SX42, I believe. It's like the SX28, only has FM on it and the crazy dial, but it's got a beautiful push-pull audio stage, and it sounds really, really good, especially with that speaker. But I didn't much like the way the mechanics were on that dial. I didn't trust it. So anyway, no, John, I didn't intend to get rid of all my Johnsons, but somehow or another, this people showed up and bought them. I didn't even advertise the last one. He just heard me say something about getting rid of the Viking 1, and he sent me an email, or I said no, but I guess I could get rid of the Valiant. So there it went. W4JPL N4LQ.
Alrighty, N4LQ, W4JPL. Turn the amplifier back off. I guess if I didn't need it, I didn't need it. Hold on a second, let me put the tuner on. I got the tuner on. My SWR needs a little bit of adjustment. It's just a 1.7 to 1. And for some reason, the Elecraft amplifier don't like it much. It gets too hot too fast. Alright, fine business. Yeah, I'm not parting with my Johnson transmitter. I was considering getting rid of maybe a couple of my Rangers, because I think I got 5 now. Because I really don't have any use for the Rangers, because I've got the Valiants in my His Eminence the transmitter, the 500. So when you got a 500, you don't need much else, do you? Tony has a 183D. I don't know if he's interested in selling it or not, but I recapped that, and he never really did anything with it. So it works. It's okay. So if you want one, maybe talk to him about that. Over to you, Cliff. W4JPL.
W4JPL is WB4NKL. Okay, John. I'm probably going to have an extra one. I had one up, one already, and then I bought this one from Carl Hansen without the transformer. And like I say, I put a transformer in it, so I've been polishing on it a little bit. They both of them looks good. I'll have to decide which one to let go of, I guess. They both seem to work similarly, about the same sensitivity and everything. Yeah, I know Mark, Steve, he has listened to us for years, and I guess it was one of the Hamfest, Greenville Hamfest or something. I met him, and then I've seen him more Hamfest since. He's a nice guy, and yeah, he likes to build. I've sent him took him parts at the Hamfest for some of his projects, and I think he'll make a good addition. I didn't realize he was even working on his ham license, so I'm glad he got that. Maybe he'll be, like I say, checking in there before too long. Be good to hear him. I don't know. I was going to ask you what his call is, if you wrote that down. So, hello, Brian. Sounding good. Everybody's coming in here pretty decent tonight. Good, solid copy on everybody. Go ahead, Mayor. WF2U's WB4NKL.
Yeah, Roger. WB4NKL and the group WF2U. Good evening, Brian. You have a good signal also. and very low noise tonight, and enjoying sitting here a little bit. And while I'm listening, I'm disassembling my junk G76 to get the panel off, so I can put it on my good working G76. The panel, the original panel that it came with, looks really ugly. A lot of rust on it and everything, but the radio itself is working great. And this is just a parts unit, so I'm screwing little Allen set screws to pull the knobs. Anyway, so other than that, tomorrow I'll have more time for that. I might finish the G76, put it back together with a good panel, and hook it up so I can use it on the old Transnet like I used to several years ago. Also, occasionally I put it on the air, and it doesn't sound bad at all. The VFO on it is a little squirrely because it has a tiny little dial and reduction drive, and it takes a little effort to zero beat it, but once it sits there, it's pretty stable. Anyway, Brian, just so you know, probably you can identify the audio. I'm using the GRC-19 again tonight, and frankly, I didn't have time for the, let's see, I was too lazy, let's put it this way, to look into the AL1200 since I used it the last time, or rather turned it on the last time, when I heard some crackling sounds, and then I turned it off. But I can't even think what it could be since the high voltage was never on at that time. So I wonder if it could be like something that is stuck, something on the fan, or the blower. But I have to pull a couple of radios from in front of it so I can pull it out and inspect it visually at least before I turn it on. So that's the story. Back to you, Steve, and for QW up to you.
Okay, let's turn it to Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, okay, very good. I'm here, WF2U in the group, KN4R, returning. All right, very good on all, and welcome, Mark, if you're copying, and wonderful on your Valiant. Can't wait to hear it from your QTH. So we can always use some more folks to talk to here on the AM net. So look forward to meeting you sometime. And let's see, I'm just multitasking here at the moment. So just trying to get the shack. I'm changing the shack all around and all that. So it's maybe it'll start looking better. I'm finding all sorts of stuff I forgot I had. So that's good. So anyway, I'll give it back to Steve. I don't know what else to say at the moment. N4LQ in the group, KN4R.
Okay, KN4R in the group, N4LQ. Do we have anybody else that would like to check in? Call now. Okay, haven't heard Bruce for a few days. And if you're listening, Bruce, check in, man. Always good to hear you. This is a nice, quiet night. And this won't last forever. You know, when get to be about March and April, thunderstorms start showing up every night. It's going to be rip snorting a mess around here. All the static. Brian, I wonder how Reese's doing. Last time we talked, you mentioned he was following you around everywhere and barking all the time. And I didn't hear him bark, but wonder what's causing that. loneliness or something, I guess. Anyway, I've been studying some software here for the XYL computers. She's got these rickety old computers that have games that she downloaded on them, and you can't just copy a game off. It's an installed application. And I found a couple of programs that's supposed to extract the game off of your computer, and it knows where to look to find all the bits and pieces, and then transfer that to another drive, and then ultimately to a new computer. Well, that's my plan. But these games were, at the time that she got them years ago, they were downloadable and came with a password or something, I guess. But now they're all online real time, and she doesn't want to get involved in that. So there's that going on. And let's see, Cliff, the call sign of Mark is KQ4 Kilowatt Queen 4 ONO. ONO. I like that. KQ4 ONO. So yeah, we'll be probably hearing him one of these days on a Valiant, and he's got several receivers that he uses, including that Regen, and that's his favorite, is the Regen. He said it sounds better, more clear, and of course it's probably broad as a barn door, like they all are, but he likes the sound of it better. So, Tony, thanks for the tip. John, thanks for the tip on Tony's 183. We'll have to keep that in mind. I don't know. One heavy thing goes out the door. I'm trying not to get big heavy things, but it just keeps happening. So I don't know. I guess the only problem is it takes up a lot of room, and I'd like to find a comparable receiver that had just as good audio. Of course, I guess I could always use an outboard amplifier and accomplish the same thing, maybe. I don't know. Okay, back to you, John, and still copy you. I could tell a big difference when
My Johnson transmitters, they ain't going nowhere. And sooner or later, it won't be out till after I move, but when I do reset up, I'm going to take the 180, or the SX101A out and put the NC303 in there. And I'll be all kinds of set up. So it's coming. I guess so's Christmas. I'm going to get out of here, fellas. I'm getting real tired, and I got to talk to Maggie about something before I go bye-bye, brain bye, go sleepy bye, huh? So I hope everybody has a wonderful, great evening. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night. I won't be on tomorrow morning. I've got a doctor's appointment. They changed it to early in the morning, and that's good with me. 73, carry on. Go ahead, Cliff. WB4NKL, W4JPL. 73.
And W4JPL, it's WB4NKL. Okay, John, 73s, and probably catch you around tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's his favorite receiver, Steve. I think you said a one transistor. I guess he's feeding it into an external or into some kind of audio system, maybe. I used to see those QEXs. I don't remember seeing that. You might pass along which issue that's in. I'll take a look at it, or see if I can bring it up. I never have. I've played around with a lot of the tube regens, but I never have mastered the solid state one. But, they can be quite simple. I seen a transceiver. Somebody had in one of the ham magazines. It was a one transistor regenerative receiver, and they switched in a crystal for transmit, CW transmitter. So I think they were trying to get down to the fewest parts to have a working transceiver. So it's pretty simple, one transistor, which like we was talking on those C100 night kit walkie-talkies. They were 3 transistor, but 2 of those were amplifiers, audio. So I guess that's a 1 transistor transceiver if you get down to it. So I'll hang in for one more. I need to get out before too long, but I'll hang around one more here. Go ahead, Mayor. WF2U, it's WB4NKL.
Okay, let me just grab the microphone. Hey, WV4NKL and the group WF2U. Good night, John, and take care, and take it easy. I know moving is not easy. Hopefully it's not too stressful. And anyway, Brian, you sound good, and Cliff, you're still booming in. Steve, the same. Okay, interesting about the what you did with the screen resistors, and it makes sense, especially if it didn't affect the quality of the modulation. Well, at least now you can drive a little bit more vigorously. I could say you could drive your amplifier more vigorously. And push it a little bit more, but I think 20 watts is a good input for a decent AM without stressing the amplifier. I think when I'm driving the AL1200, I have the 7300 set somewhere around 24 volts or something. 24 watts or something like that. That gives me about 1100 watts out. Maybe this weekend I'll get to that big gallon, see what's going on with it. Anyway, I just checked the output of the T195 here, make sure before I came on here, at 8 o'clock. Checked, it's exactly 100 watts out. The carrier. Anyway, what else? In the meantime, while I was listening to the other simulation, I removed all the knobs. Now I just have to remove them. There's 3 small panels here. Then tomorrow I'm going to install the other. And I have a bunch of spare tubes from the jug unit. Somebody was in it and made such a mess out of broken coils and something underneath that, and even looking at it was disturbing. So I have a lot of spare parts for it. And that's what's wrong. So, Brian, we'll pick it up. And, about the dog, yeah, following you all the time, might not be feeling well. And thinking company, maybe, especially for humans, maybe you help with the dog feeling better. And that's very difficult. Because if the dog gets clingy and all that, it might not be feeling well. So, talking about dogs not feeling well, one of my dogs is now not supposed to work for 4 to 6 weeks. He has a partial fear of the what is the HCL in people. The dog is called HCL. And once in a while, he thinks like chicken, like a football snap. So the vet told me yesterday. So actually it's still by itself.
Okay, Mayor, WF2U in the group, KN4R. Well, all I can say is your dog is they've done well. They've hit the lottery down there. So Reese's, he's over 16 years old. He can't hear. He can only barely see, and he just doesn't want to get out of sight of his meal ticket, I think is what it boils down to. So he just wants to stay close to either Kathy or myself, and I think he prefers me most of the time. But anyway, he's doing okay. He stopped that barking all the time, Steve. So that was just a little passing something he was doing. So he's just back to sleeping a lot, and sometimes he'll eat, sometimes he won't. We have to mix up his diet because he will not eat the same thing twice. But that's okay. So anyway, and I'm driving my ACOM 1000 here with 15 watts out of the 7610. So I should put the T195 sounds good. I should use my GRC 9 more. It's sitting over here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say 73s. Enjoyed it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. I think the weather's going to be wonderful. I've got to do a lot of things because Saturday we get the grandkids. So best of 73s. Hope you all have a nice one tomorrow. N4LQ in the group. KN4R 73. Mayor, did you say something?
I just wanted to say something about the dog parking. It's unusual. That dog has a tendency to bark more than usual. In other words, if you hear that sounds stupid,
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, Mayor. All right, very good. Thanks a lot for that tip. And see you later. Go ahead, Steve. N4LQ in the group. KN4R.
All right. 73s to you, Brian. Thanks for checking in. Have anybody else that would like to check in, give me a call. It's N4LQ. All right. Mira, I was having trouble copying you there that time. You faded out and your audio went down more than anything else. I just couldn't hear you. And I tried. But saw plenty of carrier on the screen here, but not much audio, so not sure what happened. But yeah, I thought maybe I know you'd lost your other dog, I think, and maybe the dog Reese was just getting lonely. But anyway, like you said, it was just passing, so hopefully that'll be over with. And let me see, I'm a little bit drifty here. You get back on the frequency. Let's see, Cliff, the issue is QEX November and December of 1998, page 24. November, December 98, page 24. And it's an interesting article. He goes through a bunch of history on the regen and some tube versions that he messed with and what have you. And then this one, then he explains what he's done is he's got a little FET he uses as the detector. It's just an MPF102. And then before that, he's got an RF amplifier. So it's got pre-selection. And it's all, the coil is just a pill bottle with some wire wrapped around it. It's got 2 bands. It's got a switch here to change bands. And all that does is change the capacitor, variable capacitor, broadcast capacitor from 1 to 2 sections, I guess. Pretty simple. Then he's got a low-pass filter in between the detector and the audio amp, and it's switchable for CW or sideband. So apparently he assumes you're going to use this on those 2 modes. It doesn't go into AM, but I think Mark's using it on AM. All that filter is just a capacitor. All it is 2 different value capacitors shunting the ground. The audio stage he shows is a LM386, not too fancy, and he wasn't too happy with that. He put in something else. I think he said something about a push-pull transistor circuit or something. So it'd be a fun little project there when you don't have anything else to do. Definitely wouldn't use much power. It uses 8 milliamps, 6 volts at 8 milliamps. It's all you need to run this little dude. Well, I'm not adverse to drilling a hole in the front panel of a T150 and putting a nice little knob there for power output control in AM. I would use a small knob, and I see right where it would go up there in on the front panel, in between the tune and the load control. It would fit right in, and I got plenty of black knobs. And matter of fact, I even got some lettering I could put on there. It looked pretty good. And of course, you could put it on the back and drill a hole in the chassis and stick it on the back and reach around there and fiddle with it. But the only reason I would want to do this is because if I wanted to run it barefoot, I could double my power. And matter of fact, I could probably just accomplish this whole thing with just a switch, because I would always want maximum power when I was barefoot, 20 watts. Driving the amplifier, it's okay as it is. It's the 10 watts will drive this amplifier to 300 watts carrier, or no, about 275, which is perfectly fine. That's about as much as I really care to run anyway. So that's enough. And I don't know, I may not even do anything to it. But I got more power output by the screen resistor as it was had gone up from 1200, let's see, what was that thing? 1200 ohms? It was supposed to be 1200 ohms. It went up to 1600 or something, and it was enough to make a difference in 2 watts of power. That makes a huge difference when you're driving an amplifier. So over to who's left here? WB4NKL, and Mir's still here. Go ahead, Cliff, N4LQ.
Yeah, N4LQ, WB4NKL. Well, sounds like a plan there. Had the power control. I've got an idea, Steve. It would do 2 things. You could move the mic jack out and put the power control right there, and then move the mic jack to the back, and then it would you'd think you had a Johnson Ranger again with the mic jack on the back. So that would accomplish 2 things with one deal. I was wondering if you'd added push to talk to it yet. That's another thing. I'm looking at this one over here, mine. It looks good. I don't think. It seemed like when I got it, it worked, but it's got all original capacitors, electrolytics, and all that in it. But it did work. And this thing looks so clean. I don't know if anybody's actually ever used it or not. It's just about the best one I've seen. I got it from Eric up in Indiana. Terry's buddy up there. He come down and brought a load of stuff from a Silent Key one time. We had a little ham fest over at Terry's, and that's where this T150 come from. And then I picked up a nice R100 receiver to match it. So I've got the night kit station here. That's and it looks good. Don't know how well they work, but have to get those fired. Too many projects. Have to fire those up one of these days. I'm gonna say 73's getting close to 9 o'clock, and John and Brian's already headed out, so I guess I'll do the same. Leave it with you and Mir. 73's. Go ahead, Mir. WF2U's, WB4NKL.
Outlook, WB4NKL and the group WF2U. Very good, Cliff. It's good to hear. Good hearing you tonight. 73. Have a good night. I'll be on tomorrow evening, I guess. Unless there's some unexpected honeydew after hours, like she has to pack up her stuff that she's going to the farmer's market with, and on Saturday. We'll see. Try not to do it late so I can come out here. With that, I might as well take it off now and work here a couple of more minutes until I get this front panel free. Then I know I'll just put it on the side, and tomorrow I'll finish it. I don't have much else to do, luckily, tomorrow. So 73 all, have a good night, take care, and thanks for running the net. M4LQ, WF2U, 73, good night.
All right, Mary, yeah, real good. 73s to you, and 73s to Cliff, and yeah, R100. I have never had one, and it would look nice. I think I could probably make use of one of those. Okay, and I'm definitely not going to put the mic jack on the back. That's just, that would be worse than having the pot back there to adjust. But more I think about it, it's got enough power as it is, so I think I'll just leave it alone and just use the amp with it, and there you go. So nice little transmitter. Still needs a little work on the VFO. It's a little squirrely. And I think the VFO covers 160. I think its fundamental is on 160. So maybe there would be a way to do a 160 meter mod. I don't know. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody, for checking in. Good night. We'll see you next time. This is N4LQ73.